thinking we can mix both. Who doesn't love lasagna? Let's do a veggie lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect for her.
Now that's a clip right there, ladies and gentlemen, by a show called Living by Design on Clio TV, which I just found out is the sister network to TV One.
That's right.
Yep.
Sister network to TV One, and it features members of a family that I've grown to admire over the years.
Yes.
I think when you look at a lot of different families that you've seen in entertainment, whether it's the Jacksons to the Brady Bunch. I know that was a fictional family.
Yeah, the Wayans.
The Wayans.
Yeah.
This family is equally as talented. Every sibling has something of their own that they like to do. One of their siblings became a good friend of mine, Jussie. And we got the sister and the brother, Jake and Jazz Smollett, are here with us today. You've seen their faces over the years, whether it's be it on the screen, and now, they got into your field, Heather B. And Heather called me. It's like, yo, they're here. We got to have them by the show. I love what they're doing. And they are here with us today to talk about Living by Design. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Love the show. Love this applause. It makes me feel good.
Well deserved, though.
And the Curly gang is bananas.
I know.
The scalps on this family.
The what?
The scalps on this family cannot be fucked with.
You talking about the hair?
Curly,
The hair gang?
yes.
The scalp, damn. It's true, man.
It's
That
different.
legacy. I met.
Listen, I had a URL for this hair. Y'all came from God.
And I just covered.
You don't know that.
And I just covered my shit up because I couldn't compete.
Yeah, you couldn't even compete. Were y'all known as the family with the good hair growing up as kids?
A lot of hair.
A lot?
Like the hair.
lot,
Like definitely our mom, our dad, everybody had a lot of hair.
Yes. I was joking with that question, but I'm
I know. Because don't let we were because you saw my
Dad's
reaction,
like,
right? Like, no, we don't use that terminology.
Good hair, yeah.
My mom, she was so serious about that.
Yeah.
Like, we came up with family friends and mom came up with people like Angela Davis and Auntie Shabazz, like people like that. Like, you don't talk about good hair. I knew you was joking.
Oh, I was joking. Yeah.
Right.
She was like so against that, and if anybody was talking about that, we never use that term. Hair is hair.
Hair is hair.
We all good.
Yes.
Like we ain't gonna be tricked into that.
Yes.
To that shame or
Talk
Hello.
your shit, Jazz.
Embarrassment.
I like that. I like that. Don't get me started. Your mom.
I got a lot to say about that, but I won't.
Yeah, well, you can. Your mom, I met your mom, very powerful woman.
Yes.
I grew up. She reminded me of, it could have been my auntie, and it made a lot of sense to me because of the success you guys have. And then as aware as you are, as present as you people are, when I say your family members, I know where it comes from, your mom and your pops, obviously, right?
Yeah. And we write about that in the Family Table, our cookbook we released last year. In the foreword, we talk about how they met and just who they were, and as it being children of the struggle, because our dad was also involved in civil rights with our mom, like standing right there with her, and she was like Young Workers League, and she was like doing all these things in Oakland in the 70s. And then they met, they fell in love, but our dad's background is he's Russian Polish Jewish, born raised in Queens, New York. So he that's got like a history of its own, and persecution and struggle and stuff like that. So they both came from a place that they understood the struggle, and they passed that on to us. I mean, we knew from an early age where we came from. What we were supposed to be doing.
Your mom actually built the table that was featured on the book.
She did.
The kitchen table.
Yeah.
What is that significant of? Why is that important that people know that she was building y'all kitchen tables from scratch?
Ever since we were kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it started because we had no money, and she wanted, there was 6 of us, so she had to make things work and build things, and she built all our beds. We never slept in a bought bed or a bought table or nothing, and I'm not kidding. Like 3 to 4 inch thick butcher block tables, like
She built and upholstered
plywood.
couches too. This was
And you don't think of a woman handling that work.
Yeah.
When it comes to carpentry, you know what I mean? You mainly have the image of a man.
Yeah, our mom is superwoman, man, whatever.
Human, earthling.
She owns everything. Yeah. So it started as that, like growing up, and then it just turned out that she made better tables than you could buy. So we just now it I grew up helping her making all the wood furniture, and then that just became a passion of mine too.
Yeah.
As an adult, yeah.
So I get a picture of a no nonsense household when y'all were growing up.
Word up.
Was it
Got
like
it.
that? Like did y'all get belt whippings or did you get talking tos?
There was never a belt, but there was a fist.
It was a fist.
Oh, me, oh my.
Like, let's
Look
keep it
at
real.
Jazz like, don't do that. Wow.
Yeah.
A solid one.
A solid, nice one.
Was it from me or from mommy?
Loving fist.
It was a loving fist.
Yes. I mean, you got 4 boys, 2 girls. You got to raise them to stay out the street, stay out of trouble, all that. You know, she always said, like, I gotta protect y'all. So you know, it was her and only her doing that. And
Right. Better from the inside than the outside.
Right. Right.
Well, there was a difference back then than like now. I'm a mom with a 5-year-old now. Like now we got all the, we just do things slightly different.
Right.
But it's just a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
She might have
everybody
cut
knows.
off. Yeah, she probably would have cut off the internet back then if we had it.
I literally, I want to say to my daughter so many times, you wouldn't have said that in 1988. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to get that out your mouth.
Exactly.
But it wasn't as wasn't the majority. Like mostly like she was talking and stuff like that. Like could be long talks, you know, you don't necessarily want that either when you're a kid. But
when you got boys though, 4 boys, like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to lay the hand sometime.
Sometimes you got to,
Especially that generation too. It's like, you know.
Absolutely. Nice thump on the chest.
That's right.
I had a family member. I grew up in Oakland. So
okay.
I grew up in Oakland and I'm familiar with your mom. But I had a family member, an older family member, the way he used to reprimand my cousins is he used to thump them. That's all it took.
That's kind of like threatening.
Wait,
like,
what's
that
a
don't
thump?
even
Is that
hurt.
like
That's
a
just like,
thump? Like, wait, what?
Like a pluck?
I can't even see what
Right.
I just hurt my hand thumping myself.
On
Like,
what part of the body?
I'm not gonna discuss that part. But the thump was so feared
Dang.
that's all it took was one thump.
Dang,
It was
that's
the
like
thump.
that's powerful.
That is powerful. You just raised the thumb finger up. Everybody got in line.
Wow.
The thump, kid.
Well, I'm glad this all makes so much sense now because we were talking about y'all's show earlier today, all live on air, and I was saying how good it is, and now I get it. Why the show is so approachable. You know, there are a lot of, and I'm not shitting on anybody, but there are a lot of cooking and design shows that's sort of like out of our reach.
Yeah.
Like it looks really beautiful at the end, but it's like, I ain't got $10,000 for a table.
Right.
I ain't got $10,000 to redecorate one room.
Right.
But the way y'all been approaching the food and the design, it's like, yo, all I need is $250. I can do $350. Like I can do this, and it feels so approachable. But it explains so much because y'all roots are so humbling, and I
Yes.
think that's important to bring that to your home. So, however y'all figured this out is so dope, and I encourage everybody, all our citizens, to watch it because Jazz, like you're killing it. I was like, it's so dope to see
Bring that
a
up.
woman
I
of color.
applause.
Yeah,
I
yo,
mean-
do this, and like, y'all, you're
Jake like
killing
applause.
it with the food because it's what we would eat, what we want to eat. When you think about that big table and everybody coming together and family style, right? You can't go spend $200 on a meal and then be okay because your cable might be cut off tomorrow. Like
Right.
y'all are
Right.
doing stuff that everybody can do. Y'all are killing it.
Aw,
Like
thank
seriously,
you.
I
so much.
love it.
Thank
I
you.
love so
Thank
approachable,
you.
citizens. So
Thank
approachable.
you.
Thank you.
And that's the thing we wanted to do with this show. When we were approached to do this by Rochelle Brown with Powerhouse, we were promoting the cookbook last year. And when she told us about it, we were like, dang, like we are definitely down with that. Like it sounded really great. And then we jumped on board and further developed it with them and stuff like that. And the thing that was really important to us, specifically speaking from the design aspect, is that it is approachable, but it's specific and personal to each guest that we have. It's not a cookie cutter design. It's not based on what I like or what Jake likes. It's based on what fits that person's personality. So when we're talking to them about what they like, we're getting their mood boards. We're talking to them about tone and color. Where would they spend their time if they had a day off? Like where they
Jazz
come
be
from.
going deep.
No, because I like the
I need this
storytelling.
'cause I need this.
NYU in the house. So.
I need this because I got a challenge for y'all, so I need this. Keep going.
Yeah, so
I got another episode
She went
for y'all.
to, my daughter is about to graduate from Tisch.
oh
Yes. So she'll be looking for work.
Great school.
Jazz, she'll be looking for work.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool.
Hold that.
Okay.
All right, so Sway, like tomorrow is a big fight party, like Pacquiao and what's this Thurman one time to fight, and so always the fight parties at Sway house. I love Sway. This is my brother. But God help him when it comes to decorating. Like seriously, no, he knows. I can't. There's a leather couch there, and he has
is it black leather?
brownish, blackish.
It's chocolate brown.
Oh, don't add the chocolate.
I got the chocolate brown.
Come on, baby. Okay, there's a chocolate brown
Are there any
Italian
plants?
leather.
Any plants?
Why are you asking her? I'm right here.
Oh,
Okay, sorry.
Heather ain't been there, but
I drop off the food.
She don't
Jay,
even come upstairs. Heather won't even come upstairs.
because there's no place to sit. He brings out folding chairs, and then he has a 90-inch ridiculous man TV.
Oh yes, 90 inch.
We have a thing
that
about the
sounds perfect.
TVs. Like that's the thing.
Talk
I feel
to him.
like guys always want the TV to be the centerpiece.
Yo,
Talk to him.
90s,
Yes, my boyfriend
90s.
too.
Yeah, it's
Stop
like
playing,
really
stop
interesting.
playing.
Like Jake is like, but you can have a 90 inch. See, that's the thing. If that's your style, that's your style.
Thank you.
You know, there's something.
See, Jazz will probably come in and make it
But-
feel like a sports bar. Like go with that theme, you know.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I mean, I talked to him a little bit more about that, kind of see what he wants in this space, what he wants to achieve in this space. Because if he wants a sports bar, is that what you really want to live
mean,
at?
But I love
TV.
that you keep going back to Heather to ask her.
Heather, what does he want?
Okay. Sway wants a space where his friends and family are welcome in case he decides to have something. In all fairness to him, he's a guy that likes to be home by himself on his couch to breathe. Let it breathe. Breathe it all in. He's a big Lifetime guy. You know, big Gossip Girl guy.
Big Discovery Channel, National Geographic.
Big Cleo TV.
Anything
You know,
about science.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But when it's time for a party and a shindig, it's not welcoming to the females at all, Jazz. It's
Yeah,
just
no, you
folding
wanna
chairs
have-
and hardness.
Right.
Pause.
Whoa.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. You want to have a feminine touch to every space, even if it's a male space. And the reason being is because energetically, we're all masculine and feminine.
Talk about it.
And the feminine...
Talk about it. Break it the fuck down, Jazzy.
And the feminine has to be injected more into our space and our society for the warmth, the comfort, all those things that your mother, that your all the women in your life
Grandmothers,
bring.
aunties, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you want to have that in your space anyway.
Okay.
Most men they love the way that feels,
Right,
you know,
that's
but it's
true.
just still you want to reflect who they are in the
Okay.
space. So you don't want to, you know, maybe you are into peonies, you know, a bunch of those.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
I'm right here.
You
Okay,
could
you
you
and I,
can
listen.
answer for yourself
Okay,
now.
thank you, Heather. I appreciate the intro.
Thank you, Heather.
Okay.
Yeah, because
okay.
he won't say.
I'm going to say, first of all, Living by Design, people could find it on Clio TV, right?
Yes,
If
it's
they
so
don't
good.
have Clio TV, is it a website or a YouTube
Yeah.
channel that they can go to?
Yeah, Clio.tv, or it's also streaming on Philo.
Yes.
Okay.
Streaming app.
It's streaming on Philo.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys got other things you're doing, too, before we get into my apartment. All right? Go ahead, Jake. What other things that you got on the plate?
I am in the process of starting my restaurant.
Okay.
Working on a second cookbook. And yeah, a lot of cooking things in the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
More
Cool.
cooking content, YouTube. Check out my YouTube, all that.
Okay. Cool. And your YouTube is?
YouTube/Jake Smollett.
Okay. Go ahead, Jazz.
L-T.
There it is. Now, Jazz.
Yes, so I just wrote a children's book. I'm also working on opening a cafe
Okay.
as well,
Dope.
and then a dinnerware, flatware line. So, and a few other things like podcast, things like that.
Sexy,
so, you know.
Okay. Okay. Now we're going to talk about my space.
Oh, and I have my interior design.
That's what we're
So,
doing.
yeah.
That's what we're going to get
He
to.
needs you.
That reminded me.
Because I'm going to be your poster child.
Okay.
I can see this, right?
Yes.
Because I do have an empty space. It's a place I bought years ago.
Beautiful space.
It's nice. It's okay. But my intent was to make it where it's livable. You know, make it where it's comfortable for others. More of them. I'm trying to become more of a minimalist. I don't like a whole lot of shit. You know what I mean? But I get so many clothes. So my apartment is just full of bags of clothes that I take to men's shelters and different places that I give away.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of dishes. I never changed the color palette.
You want more dishes, or are you just saying?
That's a great question.
Do you cook?
No.
Oh, okay.
I can cook. I probably would cook.
If you had dishes.
If I had better utensils.
Have you ever hosted Thanksgiving?
Not at this place, no.
Okay.
I wouldn't
Would
do
you?
that. Probably not, because
Okay.
I have a 107 and a 94-year-old grandmother that both cook.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm
So
doing
you might as well go
Thanksgiving,
there.
y'all
So
might
he
as well
goes
go
home
there.
for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
But what I would like to do, to Heather's point, is entertain. It's never a big group of people. It might be 3 or 4 people that come over when we watch the fight on the 90. Jake, you're more than happy. I'm more than come on through. I know.
See, if I hadn't changed my ticket from Sunday, I
Did-
would have been in there.
Okay, but there is no place to sit. I don't really care much about color schemes. I just like a little more. I like brightness. I like open spaces. I'm kind of easy, is what I'm trying to tell you. If you came and saw it, I'm very easy. I'm not hard to do.
So, do you like, when you say you like open spaces, so you want it to flow, but do you like nude colors? And when you say bright, do you mean like linens and things like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Browns, earth
Brown
tones.
is
like
bright.
Earth tones, I think.
His
Oh, you
chocolate
like
couch.
earth tones.
Yeah,
He
earth
likes
tones.
earth tones.
You
yeah.
like this? I can't picture this chocolate couch because someone said it was chocolate/black, and then and every leather couch is not the same.
Same.
Yeah.
So like, is it?
It's a brown, chocolate brown.
Because my Uncle Jeffrey had a brown leather couch, but I wasn't feeling that couch.
Is
might
it your
not be
skin
feeling
tone?
It's a good couch. No, it's a good chocolate brown. It's deep, so almost you can mistake it for blackish.
Whose skin got it? Is it Ty?
Like, what is your favorite? Like, what's your place
It's
to
Thai.
Vacation?
Shit, you asking me questions that I don't.
You know, like you go
like-
to the
I like-
Caribbean, or you like.
If I could go to Yosemite National Park and
See,
fish.
now I'm
He
getting-
needs plants.
Now
That's
I'm
why he asked
playing.
about
Now-
plants.
Now he
Yeah.
needs this
Plants.
like desert vibe.
Yeah, that's my vibe. I'm
Yeah,
chill.
now
I'm laid
getting
back.
this like
You feel me?
Joshua Tree kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go with it. Go with it. I'm
Okay,
easy.
so, like,
zen him out, Jazz.
Zen me out. Zen me
I
out.
think you gotta brighten your place up. Or your floors are hardwood, right?
Yes.
Most-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
But they're the original floors when I bought the place.
You need like a plush rug though
Let's
too.
get
Like
it.
I understand being minimalist.
Talk to him,
But-
Jazz.
You need something your feet sink into.
And I do have plants. I have about 12 to 15, about 12 plants.
Right.
Oh, so you are a plant person.
What?
That makes me so happy.
Where they at?
What do you mean where they at? You haven't been there lately. They're all in the living room. Yeah, like, when Horace
Oh,
comes
like all
over,
in
he
the same
says, "I love
place?
this life." They all in the same
Okay,
place.
so I'm
Plant
seeing
daddy.
this Joshua tree with.
Okay.
So if you do like color,
Uh-huh.
what is your favorite color? Because it would be nice to throw a splash of color
Like what?
in there. It depends on what you like.
Okay.
Like I don't want to be like pink, and that's not your thing.
I wouldn't. It depend on how you did the pink. I'm not really. I need you. I don't know what my favorite
Yo,
color.
Right.
That might
okay.
be like.
See, I need to just pick your brain.
Yeah, you got this.
Yeah,
You got to
I
see the
gotta-
place.
And I got to see the place because the layout makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really got to see this brown couch because I'm just imagining this brown leather couch in the middle of the apartment with nothing else.
That's what. Yeah.
He
But
also
that's
likes
fly
candles.
too. I mean, those open spaces where
Well,
it's like minimalist, that's fly.
No, I like
With the
minimalism.
big TV.
No, I get the
Stop,
minimalism, but it seems like minimalism with intention though,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't want it to just be like, oh, it's just minimal because I don't have nowhere for people to
That's
sit.
pretty much
You
what
want
it
it to
is.
be like
Yeah.
intentionally
I
minimalist.
just-
That everything you have is what you love. It's not. That's the point of minimalism,
Okay.
really.
Okay. I didn't know that. It was just I didn't have nothing.
I really got to see
I
this
threw
space, but
myself
I'm
in-
definitely seeing like a Joshua tree.
That's
kind
really
of-
good. I got 2 points. Sway, he doesn't have anything because he doesn't have time, and he doesn't
Right.
mind like really making it dope if somebody would do it and he'd work with you to be like, yo, this is dope. Come to my crib. Like he's that guy, but he won't be that guy because it's the folding chairs. And secondly,
Oh, you have folding chairs.
yeah,
Well, you need a place to sit, Jazz.
Jazz. Jazz. Jake, stop clapping because I feel like Jake will be a part of this problem.
Jake's hanging out with me all the
This
time.
sounds like somewhere
Jake's
Jake
on the
over there.
TV and a
Wait,
couch.
shoot the couch to TV.
Jake gonna have his own key. Sway, I'm coming
No,
in.
I got
Wait,
you.
you at
I
work?
got
I'm
you.
over.
But I
Jake
gotta
said
see.
she got you. She got you,
I
Sway.
got you.
She got
I got
Okay,
you.
you
But
got
I
me.
gotta see the space.
You can see the space.
I
Give
gotta see
me.
the space.
Okay.
Don't
and
judge me.
And I gotta pick your brain about what you like, because you like something.
Yeah.
And even if it's like you're into science, you're into
Okay.
certain things, like just conversation. Like you have conversation with people
Yeah.
about who they are and what they like, and then you can build a whole story around it that their space reflects that as a sanctuary, reflects who they are.
Okay.
It creates their sanctuary.
Yeah, this is
like,
dope.
oh, Sway would like this, oh, he would like that. Like this is the art
That
he
gets
should have.
deep with it.
You
Yeah,
definitely
yeah, I
need some
see.
art
Shit.
in there.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah, well, I
That
don't. And you know why? I haven't hung any pictures. I don't like. This is gonna sound crazy, but I don't like using space for inanimate. I don't like. I like space to be space.
Okay.
So, for example, I wouldn't put a bookshelf up
Right.
because I feel like that's just all
Okay.
dead space to me.
But you have like a bunch of books, I imagine.
I read a lot
Yeah.
when I'm at home, but them things are on my bedroom dresser and in the places I
Okay.
read, on the side of the couch that I read on.
Right.
I got a
Right.
bunch of books stacked right there, but I don't want the books to.
Yeah, you don't want them.
You're
like
afraid
on
of being
shelf.
cluttered and feeling claustrophobic?
Yeah, but things collect, and so mostly my biggest issue is clothes because I get so much, free. I get a lot of free clothes that I just keep giving away, and they just keep coming to me. I wear the same thing all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not that dude.
And what
Unless
is the
I,
TV
unless I got to do a
on?
red carpet or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll step it up, Jazz, if you need me.
When's your birthday?
3rd of July.
Cancer.
Okay.
And he loves candles.
And
Cancer. I was thinking Leo, because I was thinking you were saying August 3rd. No, July 3rd.
So that changed your whole thing up?
Yeah.
No, I would have caught on to that because I'm a Leo.
My little one is a Cancer.
Okay, you have a beautiful child.
I know Cancer. Yeah, they're wonderful.
But let's talk about it. I'm down to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm totally feeling this, because also I have another question. What's
Yeah.
the TV sitting on? Is it on something or on the wall?
The TV.
Wait, what?
No, I've
How
seen
is a
that.
cardboard box hold up a 90 though?
It's a fancy stand, Jazz, like fancy, laid out, rolled out. Like it's Sway. Like what he has is nice. It's just not for everybody.
I'll spend money on nice things. It's
Yeah.
not that. I
Okay.
just don't.
And the time.
So
Jazz,
it's a
I don't
stand,
care
is it
as
like
much
a-
as others.
Specifically
Okay.
for a
don't.
90-inch
But you
television.
do, because you need something.
I wanted to
in
be
that space.
comfortable. I want to walk in my house and go, this shit is fly. All right, cool. You know what I mean? I want to do that. But the 90 was gifted to me. I didn't go buy a
Okay.
90-inch TV.
Okay.
Okay, so and you just can't throw away a
90-inch
TV.
He got
Yeah.
Jake on his side.
Yeah, you know.
But long story short, I love that's what they do, Sway. So it's
Yeah.
basically if you had $250 and you were trying to figure out how can I just like redo my bathroom or spruce it up a little bit, or if you had $2,500, the way they do it, how she's talking to you, how Jake is talking to you, finding out what you personally like and what's your vibe, they knock this shit out the park every single time. Like it's crazy, and the food element is involved as well. That's how I got hooked on the show. I was like, this is dope.
Well, are you going to do, I know, you're going to do your brother's, you're going to do Jesse's apartment too?
Yes.
You are? Okay. All right. Maybe we could have a competition.
Oh,
I love it.
wow.
Plot twist.
Block party.
See who's come out the best.
They both gonna be done by
Okay, let's see. I don't know. Does he?
Whose style is the best?
He has a balcony at his apartment.
I have no comment on that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But Sway.
yes.
But because it's personal
Yeah.
to each person that you're redesigning for, it's not about competition.
I love you,
It's
Jazz.
about
He turned it
competition.
around.
It's about
Because
competition.
your style.
Are you the big sister?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
absolutely.
I get it. I get it now.
Your
That's right.
style is gonna be totally different than his style.
This
Well, I
is
don't know.
true.
You're both cancers, so I don't know.
Yeah, we got a lot
might
of
be kind of
similarities.
similar.
Might be kind of similar. Okay, let's do this. We'll continue the conversation. Did y'all bring any food though?
We did.
We
Y'all
did.
did?
We
Okay,
brought
okay. Let's
Flourless
see it.
chocolate
Let's
cake.
put it
I
up.
know
Let's put it
people
up.
like chocolate.
Yeah,
All right.
we love
That's
chocolate
very
here.
good.
We
Francesca
got
got
Jake
the
and
cake.
Jazz Smollett. While they bring the cake, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Jussie. I've often on this show I've defended everything about
Absolutely.
what's going on with this case.
Absolutely.
And it was me and maybe one other. You know what I mean? At a time when people, but I immediately have faith, belief, and support for him.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot more about the case than most folks. Okay. But what I'm most curious about is the reason why I want to talk about your upbringing a little bit, so people could have an understanding of your fortitude, your background, y'all foundation as the Smolletts.
Yes.
And how are you holding up in this, what feels like this, all this public scrutiny of Jussie? What tools are y'all using to stick together as a family?
God.
Okay.
That's the only thing that has gotten us through this shit. It's been horrible.
Okay.
I'm pissed on a daily. And yeah, God. I mean,
it's really, at the end of the day, like the same that has gotten us, that has always kept us through. We're gonna drop everything and be there at the end of the day, because we also know each other, and we also know the facts, and we know the truth and all that type of stuff. But then at the end of the day, as far as getting through it, it has been, like Jake said, our faith and the strength of our family. And like, we know that a lot of people have no idea the powerful people that we were up against, and only God could bring any truth to light in spite of that.
Yeah.
And so we know where that comes from, and we have our faith and everything. And so, yeah, that has been what has gotten us through this, and knowing like the truth is on our side. You know, that doesn't always, keep people.
It definitely doesn't change what the media says, and it definitely, there's been so many supportive people like Tay Diggs and Lonnie Love and Ava DuVernay and all of you here, and
like, we can't even list them all.
I mean, there are a lot of supportive people, but for every supportive person, there's that jerk ass media outlet that's gonna spew absolute lies and false accusations, and with no kind of evidence on nothing. Like, that's what people should look at. So, I mean, it's just been an absolute whirlwind, but
and we appreciate
strong,
you guys and everyone else.
I mean, and it's not just it's just I know media, too. It's we got a job we got to do here, so we got to report stories, and we got to do it unbiasedly. Yeah. But I know media, and I know Jussie. You know what I mean? Right. And so my belief never wavered at all. I know how this goes a lot of the times.
And we know our history.
Yeah, and you know your history.
Like, let's be real.
Yeah, and let's look at the history in this country. How is he doing? How is he holding up, Jussie?
Good. I mean, it's been a crazy ordeal. Like, we'd be, amiss if we tried to act like it wasn't a really tough ordeal. But he's really strong, and he's thriving, and he's standing in his truth. So.
And you guys never wavered either. When you saw all the information was coming out, we
had literally the inside facts, and that's the thing. And it's so frustrating when you can't really get out there and answer every single thing. You can't get out there, and
everybody's telling you don't talk too. That's the thing. It's like there's so much going on that you can't really, let everybody in. We live in such a social media world now where you just want to jump online and let people know the truth, but it's such a big case. You can't do that. So it's like, it was just, and still is, just a terrible situation.
Yeah, terrible situation. I appreciate you guys even giving us that that kind of information, Jazz and Jake. It's a lot of people who care out here. And send our best to him.
Yes.
All right. And then we're going to continue with this cake.
Yeah,
wow. We got a cake.
Are you serious? Y'all,
they made a cake.
Made this?
Give out y'all social, by the way, while we're doing this. Jake, how can people reach you if they want to?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Everything is Jake Smollett.
Okay.
Double L, double T.
Jazz.
I am Jazz Smollett on Twitter and Facebook.
Double Z. Double L, double
thank
T.
You. And you can find me on Instagram, Jazz Smollett.
So dope.
Okay, so
Jazz Smollett Warwell, it says, but if you search Jazz Smollett, you'll find it.
Okay, there it is.
Am I cutting this for everyone?
Yes. You want me to have
we all greedy, Jazz.
Yeah, and Jazz, say what type of cake that is too.
Oh, okay. This is a dark chocolate flourless cake. Now, it's flourless just so you get more chocolate.
Okay. Okay.
This with your coffee though.
It helps if you're gluten free also.
Okay, cool. And then
It's really rich.
very
love
rich.
it.
We're gonna taste it.
I
Let me
need
taste that
plates or
real
napkins.
quick. Here,
Yeah,
here,
we
here.
got plates.
Oh, you got plates.
And y'all bought fancy
Okay.
napkins. Like,
All
I'm
right.
loving all
Okay, we're gonna thank Kai Cash for coming by
Oh,
today.
they were
Yeah.
so dope, Sway.
And
That was a
Nico.
good call, man. That was so dope.
Birth in the Borough is his new EP coming out next
Yes,
week.
next
Nico Brim as well.
Came through and did the thing with him. And then we had a guest DJ as well today, Phenom.
DJ Phenom
Yeah.
out of Portland, Oregon, by way of Chicago.
Yes.
We got all these great interviews, these conversations we're having. You can find on Sway'sUniverse.com in the YouTube channel. You can listen back right here at SiriusXM.com.
SiriusXM.com/on-demand to hear it back.